Greetings, can you hear me?
So good evening all. Welcome to Community Board 9 December Executive Board meeting. Thank you for attending. We're going to get started shortly.
Okay. Joyce Adaume.
Not here yet.
Okay. Okay.
No, she said she was coming.
So Walter Alexander is excused, Deirdre McIntosh Brown is excused, Carlton Davis. Marita Dunn. Yeah. Victor Edwards,
President.
Daria Hardiman. Monique Harding Cordero, present. Okay, Laquita Henry. Heather Jason. Ted Kovalov.
Yes, right here.
I'm gonna.
Thank
sign
you.
this next.
Okay. Oh, you got it. Okay, Tina Lumley. Sydney Morrison. Here. Solomon Prophet. Running like. Okay, Annette Robinson. Carolyn Thompson.
Here.
Okay, Liz Whitecutus. Did I say that right? Whitecutus, okay, thank you. Barry's excused, and Shaniko Wilson, is she expected as well? All right, that's it so far, I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, 8, 19, right?
Maybe 16.
All righty.
Kind of sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have a quorum. I will call the meeting to attention for now so we can get started. We will start with, we'll start with a discussion regarding 547-551 West 33rd Street, BSA extension terms. I think on the line we have Mr. Neil Weisbrand, is it?
Weisbard, hi, everyone.
Great.
Okay.
And I also have Mike Martinez, who, along with his mother, Marilyn Santana, who's not feeling well. Mike is the owner of Prestige Auto and can answer any questions you have. I've also forwarded a couple of affidavits. There's 2 tenants in this space, Prestige Auto, Mike's company, and also Auto Body Pro Solutions. And we've prepared some affidavits regarding the parking, that no parking will be, there's no cars don't double park on Old Broadway, and Mike can get into this more if you have questions. But we're going to have those affidavits signed and presented as part of our application with the Board of Standards and Appeals. So there'll be a public record and the Board of Standards and Appeals will see them as well. If you're okay with that, we've submitted it only in draft form. So if there's anything more that you want in these affidavits and they're accurate statements, we would be glad to put them in the affidavits themselves.
Okay. Questions from anyone regarding Prestige Auto, which is on?
Do we have the
133rd?
reso that I drafted?
You drafted a resolution?
I did. I
Okay.
can send it to you real quick. Do you need me to send it?
It will have to be to me. Oh, I think.
I can send it to you.
Actual reso is an inclusion.
Well, she can send it to me. No,
I'll send it to you.
I don't.
Oh, in the meantime, do we have questions for this establishment on 133rd Street, Prestige Auto, regarding variance?
133rd or what? Right there.
It's right across the street.
Right across from the community center?
So-
Yeah, the car.
Oh, that way.
Right.
So Carolyn, this reso that I drafted, I want you to take a look and see if you have anything that you want to add. I think our
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, good. Hi, Mike, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello, how are you?
Good. We have no intention to hold you up at all. We just want to make sure that the parking situation is addressed tonight. And if you have any insight on that, we'd be more than happy to hear that from you as far as, because we still see some double parking out there, even at night, I believe. Yes, Vic, you've seen parking at night?
You're referring to Old Broadway or on 133rd?
On 133rd and Old Broadway, both.
Okay. So throughout the day, we have customers that come in for New York State inspection. So we have a constant rotation of cars. We encourage customers to stay in the neighborhood, not go too far away. So when their turn comes up, they can come in. But we don't leave cars out there like double parked that are ours. People from the community also park on that double park line, and then the construction workers that are working on the buildings there, they also park there as well. And that's only on 133rd. We actually don't go past that. Most of the cars that we have them parked properly there, and then the ones that no one's in don't belong to us, or belong to the other shops that are down the street. And they're the ones that park down on Old Broadway. We actually don't park any vehicles down on Old Broadway. We have no need to park any vehicles, and we don't keep any vehicles without plates or anything like that, because our vehicles are constant rotation. People come for oil changes or a quick brake job, and then they go.
So in the interim, while they're waiting, they do, I've been there several times, I'm taking pictures, I've given it to 26 precinct, I've been there several times, and that whole block, it's double parked on both sides of the street, where you can only get through if somebody goes through, which I've already explained to them, it's a very dangerous situation. So you're saying none of those cars are yours?
The vehicles that are blocking on both sides, I actually have a person that we pay to move cars along and to bring vehicles inside when their turn comes up, which we have keys for the cars that are parked legally, and then the cars that are double parked are either customers that are waiting or people from the neighborhood. So sometimes, many times, we try to get a vehicle out that is parked, and then someone from the neighborhood has their vehicle double parked on the line there, and we can't get the vehicle out, which causes a whole bunch of trouble for us. So a lot of the cars that are double parked there that are unmanned are not ours.
That's what the affidavit is, somebody swearing to the affidavit that that's the fact.
Yeah,
True.
Mike is a business owner, and then the other business owner have put those affidavits together.
Okay,
Well,
so
is there a way for him to identify the cars that may be waiting to get in, so they would know one from the other?
So like, is there a sign that you put maybe in the car or something?
Something, so I can identify the vehicle.
If you guys would like us to do something like that, I could definitely make something like that happen. I could make some sort of flyers that we can put something bright that can go on the windshield, so they know which vehicles are belong to us. I would have no problem doing that. Yeah, I would have no problem doing that for sure.
How you gonna know that? I think that would address the problem faster. Even if you call the police, they know which cars been issued.
Right.
Have you got something you wanna add?
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And-
I'll add that to the affidavit too, that flyers or some identification card will be put on a car that's double parked, and they could contact Prestige, who will immediately move the car if needed.
Right. And we can note that in the reso too. I just sent it to you, Madison. And Carolyn, did you have any discussion with the precinct or anyone like that as far as, did they know anything?
No,
Okay.
no problem. Because that's part of the 2-6 reason.
Right.
So, according to them, they had no problem. They gave me several times for cars illegally parked, but not for double park.
Got it. So a couple of
Double
questions.
park.
This is the old reso from probably 12 years ago, Mr. Weisbard. So I just kind of updated it and wondered if there was some things that still are viable to this reso. So did you officially file an application, and what was the date on that was my first question. Because you needed to, it was officially, I think, expired in 2019, and it sounds probably like we're delayed over COVID and things like that. But was there a filing date?
I can give you the exact filing date. I can tell you that we have, I'm just going on to my work screen, but I can tell you that we have a hearing, so it has been formally filed. We received a notice of comments from the Board of Standards and Appeals, which we responded to, and they believe the application is in good enough shape to go to a hearing. and that hearing is scheduled for January 8th or 9th. The application was filed on August 16th of 2023.
August 16th, 2023. All right, I'll add that into the reso just so that we have that on file. It looks like the last reso said there was an inspection by BSA for like just looking at the current use and that it's still in order. Did that happen?
I do not know that. BSA typically will visit a site a couple weeks before the hearing, but
Got it.
they might have already visited. I can let you know that answer after the January 8th hearing.
Okay, well, yeah.
But
I
it's
just
not
want-
gonna work for your resolution, but they typically do inspect it.
We could do friendly amendments if needed, I'm sure, but it would be good to have that in there and see their, you know, I assume it will go flying colors, but you know, always good for us to be informed. So we can do that, and then we'll add in a little bit about the flyer idea into this. I've added a few things just as whereas the owners have said businesses have sworn an affidavit that they don't allow storage of vehicles, employee or customer, a double parking, you know, this kind of thing. I added a whereas clause for that. And whereas the owners will continue to present no negative impact on the character of the neighborhood. From our perspective, we're cool with this. From Carolyn and their perspective, we've had our answers, you know, our questions sufficiently answered for this. I open it up to anyone else. We good?
Ed
So
here.
we did not have a quorum at our Tuesday night meeting, so, you know, officially couldn't do anything. But, you know, it was approved by all of us. So I guess we will need to ask that we put it on the agenda and approve it for general board tonight.
Yes.
With the friendly amendments as needed.
Please let me know if you would like to be present at the full board. Be happy to be there to answer any questions.
Ted here.
Yes, Ted?
Ted,
Yeah, I want to speak as a pre-COVID happy user of you guys. However,
Excellent.
I have to say that as a result of that, I will have to abstain from voting on this.
so noted.
He's playing it safe, I guess.
What, I'm saying.
He's a customer.
Okay, yeah, you gotta abstain,
Yeah.
just abstain.
That's
Not
okay.
making money from it, just.
That's okay. I don't think it'll sway anything.
Yeah, but if you-
So do we need to add it to the action items, Vic?
Yes, that's the problem. It's just in the car.
Do we need to add it to the action items tonight then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, we look forward to your prosperous business in the community.
Thank you.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Good night.
Thank you.
Holidays to you.
See you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
19.
So it appears we have a in-person quorum at this time. I will call the meeting order. Motion to adopt the agenda
So, yes,
with correction to add my presenter, Ms. Joyce Freeling, and that she'll be presenting this evening.
I second.
Yeah,
Oh, Ms.
something's yeah, it is.
Yes,
She might have another
Alright.
meeting going on.
motion, did
Another
someone,
meeting.
Second.
So moved.
Shaniqua, second. To adopt the minutes with any necessary corrections?
So moved.
Oh. All right. Okay, that being said, we'll jump into our next presentation. Ms. Joyce Freeling, the floor is yours. Thank you for coming. Can I mute her?
She has to
Oh, she, oh.
unmute.
Unmute yourself, Ms. Freeling.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Hi. I had sent some information to the community board about a project. Let me start from the beginning. I'm a director for stakeholder engagement at the CUNY Crest Institute at City College, which of course is in your community. CUNY Crest is a global remote earth sensing technologies institute, which gathers data for climate solutions. So we have a major focus on climate solutions. However, I wear two hats. I also run a not-for-profit, and our focus is on public education for the shift to a regenerative and sustainable future. So we look at climate, new economy models, and health and well-being of communities as well. So I had sent an outline on a project and on a footprint. What we are focused on, it's my belief that people cannot imagine what they cannot see. So what we have in New York City is a wide range of innovation taking place, but it's highly fragmented and very scattered in all of these areas. So my focus was to create a demonstration program in one community district and bring many innovations together so that people can begin to see what communities can look like going forward in terms of the future of the city. Because these are innovations that not only address climate, but they are new economy models in many different sectors. And so they offer an opportunity for small business development, workforce development, and so on. With this, because I have a not-for-profit background, I've also created a donor program aligned with the project that is aligned also with the sesquicentennial. The sesquicentennial is 2026. So we're using it to create a benchmark called Founders for the Future, because it's aligned with a vision for the future of our communities going forward. So what I sent ahead was two footprints that we're proposing as a starting place. Both of which are focused on health, but each of them are different, because one is an economic development focus on using health as the baseline that combines climate, because we're looking at urban farming, such as a rooftop aquaponics, but aligned with a restaurant and a therapeutic teaching kitchen and a research project on precision nutrition. Precision nutrition is an emerging science, and CCNY has just finished, or is almost finished, building a new life science center in the community. So they would be an ideal partner for the research on precision nutrition. And its focus is really on preventive health through diet that's highly personalized and can make a very big difference in chronic health and prevention of such diseases. So we saw that as an integrated plan rather than just an urban farm, but a therapeutic teaching kitchen that can offer the community education in preparing meals that are healthier. And tying it to a future focused issue on precision nutrition, where we might be able to evolve a business that can have some of that information to create even a packaged food business. That's still off in the future, but it's something that might emerge from that research. In addition to that, because of the need for retrofitting buildings, we're looking at some of the innovations in retrofits and adding solar and new energy innovations, some of them developed in an accelerator here in New York called Clean Fight. In greening in the community and looking at public spaces that are aligned with that concept and exploring approximately 2 to 3 blocks as a first footprint to really explore how it will work in the community. There's the School of Architecture at CCNY. There's the School of Public Health. Students would be involved in it as well. So they can learn in real time as well as in classrooms. And members of the community. We felt that these 2 footprints enable us to engage the community to be actively involved as we move the project ahead. So that's a brief sketch of these key points. Questions?
Questions? We have 2 committees that are kind of related to what you're speaking about. That would be our Health and Environment Committee and our Economic Development Committee. So I
Okay.
would suggest that you maybe come to them and present at a fuller event.
January meeting,
What's the,
I think it's the third or the first week of January.
Second,
It's the second of Jan. It's the second week because January.
Yeah, it's
That's
really-
what we were saying.
I wanna
We
talk to you
meet
about
that
it.
day. That's the day after
Just
the
stay.
weekend.
Yeah.
so we'll be in touch with you to let you know when they're meeting again, but those are the 2 committees that you should come before. I think you get a lot
Okay.
of them. But thank you for the presentation. You talked about some very important issues. We've done some work with CUNY before, so we would definitely be interested in that. And when you mentioned retrofitting of buildings, I think maybe in line with local law 97, that people are starting to look at now, that could be very helpful as alternative, to solar or something like that.
Yes. And of course, having people from the community involved in that. I've made a long list and happy to review it with the committees who would be more knowledgeable about these issues. So that would be very appreciated. So health and the environment and economic development.
Send you the dates when they're meeting again and the contact information with the.
Okay.
All right. But
Okay.
thank you. I'm seeing any hands up, but a great presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Freeling.
And thank you for listening and for the invitation.
All righty.
Have a good holiday.
You do the same.
See you, if not before, in the new year. Take care.
That is nice.
Okay, it appears we have a quorum. Correct.
Yeah.
So we can call the meeting to order at this time. And I will start off with my chair's report.
Yes.
Alrighty. Have it in front of you. I'll just go over some items quickly. I met with BRC regarding 1727 earlier in the month. And I had several concerns that were expressed by different committees, health and environment being one of them. And security was an issue. So in here, you'll see they're gonna have 24-hour security, which will also patrol the building inside and out. as far as people hanging out from that facility. It's a supportive, it's 199 units of, housing. I think 119 is, 200 is the number of units, 120 are supportive, the other 80 are rentals, and 1/4 of all apartments will be for seniors. One of the issues we talked about was the rents and the amount of rents. I think majority of apartments are at 60% of the area median income, which is about $87,000, which I said was a bit much.
Yeah.
For this area. And then another number of apartments at 40, which is about 47,000. They said they would take that back to the board and take a look at it, but that doesn't support people in this area. 87 is a lot, but they do go by the area median income, which takes in all of New York and parts of Westchester. So that's why the amount has gone up. We talked about that this morning with the borough president as well. That should be something specific to a board or a geographical area. I mean, taking in Westchester and other parts doesn't really, help us.
Manhattan is very high in the end. And that's that's where it is. It's a dress fair problem, pay fair. And it's a lot.
We asked about supportive services. They will be available to everyone in the building, whether they're in supportive housing or not, which I thought was good. The other concern we have, what outreach was done to the various organizations in the community, schools, which is diagonally across the street, daycare center down the street, public library there as well. We don't want people lingering around in those facilities or causing issues, or just in the general neighborhood. So they said that they wanted to meet and possibly meet with us as be a bridge to some of the community organizations. I said we would take a look at that and see what we could do. As a follow-up, LaQueen and I met with Emma Bowen Center this Monday past, because when we spoke to them, the footprint for the new space for Emma Bowen is going to be smaller than what they have now. They run a lot of different programs, some I was not aware of myself, some great programs there, and I didn't want them to lose any of those programs. They assured us that the space that they're getting is multi-purpose, so they will be able to continue to run the programs as they're running them now. So that was good to hear. Heritage Health, which will be moving out, their concern was just having enough time to prepare their new space until they're able to move. So we're gonna keep an eye on that as well. PS 125, we received emails, I received it daily about the opening of that playground on 123rd. It finally opened this past Monday. Myself and Deidre attended the ribbon cutting. We just want to make sure it's still used for children or residents of the area and it's not let out to, people outside the community more so than people who are using it. But it was
23rd, so it's around thousand.
right across from the Shell gas station on Morningside, the playground, Ralph Bunch School right there. So we will keep an eye on that as well. It's a great job. I mean, soccer field, tennis court, all the other apparatus, kids were out there for the opening and just loved it. They've been waiting a while, so we were good to see that. The next item is attendance and New York open laws. I've attended many meetings. I was here this week with Cindy and her meeting. I've been here. I've tried to make in person every meeting, if not online, and I see continuously people are not able to reach quorum, so which means we can't vote on an item. Some of our board members' attendance is really poor, and that'll be taken up very shortly in a review of attendance. I try to tell people, maybe now is not the time. Maybe another time you don't have the same issues you have more time to donate to this real work that's being done. Don't take a space up if you can't do it. So I try to impress that upon people. So today was a testimony at the borough president's meeting as far as the open meetings law, which will be possibly expiring in July.
July
July.
24, yeah.
So quite a few people gave testimony. Daria came down and spoke, I spoke. And what I said in the meeting, a hybrid is great, but I would change where you could have a forum based on virtual, people being virtual and people being in person. Because when you make it in person, we have a hard time reaching a forum. I know a lot of businesses these days work virtually and don't even come to the office. And that, you know, I know we had during the pandemic, we had great turnouts for our meetings and we got business done. So maybe we could force something in between the two of those. But as it stands now, we can't do that. We have to have an in-person forum. We set up a procedure for that, which in some cases is still being ignored. People, you know, call in, let us know you're not coming. We might call and ask other people to come in. So hopefully they'll come up with a real solution for this issue. Yes,
So Victor, that's still being looked at and
Yes.
debated.
right.
Yeah. Look like
Say again?
They shared a testimony that, like, I emailed them.
I didn't stay to the very end. They didn't, did they?
No, but you can-
That will be shared, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Right.
Okay. You would have-
That will be, sent to the legislature.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. It was a mixed bag, and I think most people, Dari, correct me if I'm wrong, were in favor of hybrid, but the quorum piece was what was a stumbling block. There was a few people that wanted to come back in person, and then there was some other people that just
Right,
wouldn't do
exactly.
total virtual. So the compromise is hybrid.
Yeah.
But the catch there is the quorum piece, so.
The other thing, Mr. Chair,
Yes,
is that, there was a great concern about, the meetings being for the public, not just for the board members, but how do you include the public if it's not hybrid so much? So I hadn't thought about that part. And so there were a couple people raised that point that, you know,
Okay.
they wanted to be able to have input into their community. But if it required them to be only in person to do that.
right. No, good point. I mean, we had people during the pandemic where a lot more than normal. It's because you have the ease of getting on. So I think that is a good idea. I heard that point that was made. I think that was a good idea. If you want to involve the public, you have to make it accessible to them, and being virtual does that, so. Good point. Cannabis dispensaries, as noted here, myself, Yutha, and Monique did it, we're on a Zoom with the Office of Cannabis and Management. Was that last week? Lost track of that.
Last week.
Last week.
Was it last week?
Um,
Yeah, I was there.
Still up in the air, as they
I was
said.
gonna say, we're all confused.
They said to us that they are flying the plane while building it.
Yes.
And I said, that kind of describes it, sort of, and while serving food, so it's very fluid, I think people often say. But we're moving ahead as best we can. Other chairs have similar issues with a lot more applications coming in. 40, 50 is a lot, but we're concerned about here. And we also spoke about the illegal cannabis dispensaries that are in people's neighborhoods, not to mention the people selling on the street out of their cars, Volkswagens, whatever it is, but
Which Captain Shapiro
yes,
assisted us in having those, was it a ban removed?
Yeah, it was.
It was a van.
Yes.
That was selling out of their van.
Yeah, yeah.
They even had,
Yeah.
a menu in front of the van.
Right. They have 1 on 152 as well. I gave him, it's a car and they have seats outside with the menu, of what they're selling.
Yeah,
See it every Saturday when I'm going to mass, you know, and
so they did a sweep and they were
so they
arrested.
did that. No, the car is still there because you don't, Captain Shapiro is no longer there.
Right.
You have a new XO, okay? He came on Friday. He has not addressed anything as of yet, you know. So I think we're gonna meet with him Monday. Right, do it? So Joyce will remember.
What's his name?
Harry Gray.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah.
so we'll set
Captain.
something.
Yeah, they came from, the Manhattan Borough North.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
All right, so we'll set up some meetings with him to kind of acclimate to what's going on from our point of view as well.
He said to just give him a few more days.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right,
yeah, absolutely. So that's moving forward as well. Also on, lost track of days. Anyway, one day this week, I attended the opening for the Harlem Sculpture Garden. Monday, thank you, yes, with Daria as well. And that is being done by our own Savannah Bailey McLean, in 3 parks, one side St. Nick and Jackie Robinson. They're taking, ideas for sculptures to go in those parks. She had a great turnout and supported by some galleries in the city as well. So we're looking to see what they come up with to have a permanent structure in each of those parks. So they might be using QR codes as well for voice and other voice related activities. So that was good. And that's it. As you note on the back of my chair's report, just a big thank you to everyone here. I've said it at several general board meetings. We volunteer for this work. I really appreciate what has been done. Any accolades that come to me are because the people sitting in this room, not because of me, but the people who back me up. Our officers, our co-chairs, and our awesome office staff. Thank you one and all. And one of my quotes you'll see on the back, if not us, then whom? If not now, then when? As this community transitions to something different than what it's been for decades, we need to keep a voice into what happens, so it doesn't change. And one day we look around and we say, well, how'd that happen? And we're priced out, which is happening. Our arts are not taken seriously. And those type of things. Actually, we're gonna be meeting.
Our culture.
Right, we're meeting with Columbia on Monday to look at an art space. So possible, the 5,000 square feet they're supposed to give us through the CBA, we're looking at that Monday. Hopefully they'll come up with something that's suitable for us to have arts events, displays and other cultural works. So any questions on anything I covered in my chair's report or anything at all? Oh, okay. Oh. Yes,
We brought up cannabis and there's I see the guidelines are in the packet, but they're not on the agenda. Is this gonna be discussed or?
I would, yes, I would like it discussed. That's why I included it in there.
yes, thanks. Yes, Joyce.
That was through the task force, not the chair's report,
Right,
cannabis task force.
right.
I was just, he said if you have any questions about anything, it's just not on the agenda.
Oh,
So
right.
okay.
I figured we'll go with the-
Yeah.
Right.
Guess it'll come on the committee reports.
Yes. Joy,
Yes. Well, you thanked us, we want to thank you too.
Yes.
Because you are also now being paid to this job and you find time to attend all our committee meetings and contribute and support us in the programs that we are all trying to do. So, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I take checks and bottles.
Yeah, who do we address? I got a good coffee for you.
Moving on to our esteemed. Oh, when is she not here?
Well, we could go back.
Okay. We'll jump to district managers.
Well, I'll submit treasurers for Deirdre.
Okay.
Included in your package is the most recent treasurer's report. And I also want to note that our district needs statement and budget requests were finalized and submitted earlier this week. Although we were rather late, the director for Department of City Planning called me to say that we had a very good document submitted. Our narratives were great, our district overview, and also our 3 pressing issues. They were very impressed. So I just wanted everyone to know Barry nor Deidre is here, but I like to give them a round of applause.
Yes.
For the great work that they did, submitting that document.
Hardest work we have.
If there are any questions about the treasurer's report, we could take it up with Deidre at a later date. She's not here tonight, so I will give my report. Included in your packet is the district manager's report, and I have some additions that I'd like to share with you. The New York City Emergency Management runs a program called Share Your Space that allows people to offer their properties voluntarily for emergency management related activities such as a service center, a CERT training commodity distribution point, or other functions identified by Department of Emergency Management. To find more information and to get answers to frequently asked questions, links are left in the chat, and I could also share if you're interested. The Department of Sanitation recently unveiled a new technology to modernize and enhance their snow cleanup operations in preparation for the upcoming winter season. The state-of-the-art system known as Blade Runner 201 centralizes the deployment of real-time tracking of snowplows, salt spreaders, and brining vehicles, and replaces outdated technology first launched in 2015. As a result of this investment and other operational changes, streets will no longer be categorized as primary, secondary. The system where different communities receive different levels of service. Going forward, every street in New York City is on a plow and salt route, and every route will be dispatched when conditions warrant. This includes real-time service of bike lanes as well. I think that's great, so. Yeah.
Excellent.
Also, NYC Teen Space is a free mental health support program available to any teenager ages 13 to 17 living in New York City. Whether you struggle with mental health challenges or just want somebody to talk to about your everyday ups and downs, and I'm speaking in third person to teens. And you need somebody to talk to about your everyday ups and downs, you can sign up for Teen Space to be connected to a licensed therapist for ongoing support. You will also get access to online mental health exercises to complete, at your own pace. Teen Space is offered by the New York City Department of Health. For further information, I left the information in the chat, and I can also share it with you, the link for further information. Also, Alicia Boxdale dropped off tickets for a holiday celebration and toy giveaway next Saturday, December 23rd, from 2 to 5 at Riverside Church. If you're interested, you can let me know. She's already given tickets to the TA presidents for 3333 Broadway, Manhattanville, and Grant. So if you know of any other child outside of those housing developments, let me know. We do have 10 tickets here, and they can't be duplicated. I've initialed, so you know Alicia, she's gonna look.
Right.
So I do have 10 tickets. The child has to be present. The adult doesn't need a ticket, but the child has to be present. They will have pizza, giveaways, a toy. So it looks like a good time had by all. So if you know any kids that you think may be interested, just alert me at the district office. And last but not least, it's very important that you review the draft calendar included in your packet. As we just discussed, economic development is scheduled to have their regularly scheduled meeting on Tuesday, January 2nd. And we know no one's really gonna show up for that meeting. That's the day after New Year's. So Marita, if you could look at another date, senior
The
issues
next
has
week.
already,
The next Tuesday, whatever is the.
well, no, you can't.
That's
Is
Because we already have youth and
and
housing. You
actually,
can do the Wednesday, the 3rd of January, because we have landmarks, parks, and then you
The
get it.
third. So
Okay.
from the second, move it to the third.
Yes.
I want to discuss with you two ladies, when I have my committee report, I'll talk a little bit more, but I want to discuss about maybe having a joint meeting or hearing about the zoning for economic opportunity, so we'll talk about that.
That's the
Okay.
city of yes neutrality.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We need to get together on that.
You can, just for you to know, we agreed that it will be hybrid, our meeting in January will be hybrid,
Okay,
like we did. That we did, we even took a vote.
Well, we'll move it to the other date, either way.
Yes, it's still gonna be hybrid, because
Okay.
people are not gonna be
So-
around.
Nobody's gonna do it?
You were there for meeting, ma'am. You want me to remember yesterday?
I ask you.
Okay, so we can continue
Yes.
the discussion tomorrow
Whatever you
offline.
moved it to,
So
yeah.
you know. And that concludes my report. If there are any questions, speak now, forever hold your peace.
But uniform
I-
services the fourth,
Excuse me?
uniform services January 4th.
Yes,
Yes.
we spoke about that today. I will make that correction,
Right,
Gary.
yeah, because I.
There is no UST meeting in
It's the
January.
USC, right.
You're absolutely right.
I think this is December, right?
Joyce?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you for including economic development as one of the important areas needs in our community because it's touches upon everything, you know. So,
I can't take all the credit. They're not here. That would be Deirdre and Barry. But,
yeah,
Thank
we-
you.
We suggested that.
yes, yes.
And thank you for it.
Mhm.
Thank you for that.
So it was, to me, the feedback that I got, our document was one of the best documents submitted,
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm really happy about that. It took us a little while, but we got it done. So, thank you.
Yeah, good. Youth, a question. I know that the calendars for January and February, is it draft? But not December.
We're in December.
Right. Well, I guess in terms of our meeting, the task force, it's like on the last Thursday of the month. I doubt people will come.
So
So,
are you canceling?
December, that's it, December.
December.
Right, December 28th. Yeah. I mean, certainly,
What?
yeah,
Are you canceling?
I'm coming.
yeah.
Don't make me make there be a meeting if nobody else is coming, but.
I mean, I always am there. I'm just like concerned that nobody will show because it's in between
Maybe
the holidays.
send an email, see what kind of feedback you got, and then we can go from there. If you need to change it, we'll change it.
Okay.
So you could just alert us,
We're gonna make it
Monique,
sooner.
next week.
No, can't do that. What do you think? I am defining physics, I can split myself
Or
into two,
even if you
send out
go,
a note.
even if you go remote for the meeting, Monique, it's up to you.
Yeah, maybe that will be the
Yeah.
way to go remote. That might increase
Make a note
participation.
of that.
Oh,
Okay, take that.
All right.
are task forces required to do they're not required for the forums and the hybrid and all of that? Are they
But I know.
same as committees
It's okay.
or task forces don't need to be,
No,
yeah, they can be all
task
hybrid.
force are ad hoc committees, so they not,
Exactly.
there aren't.
They're not
They're not under the same guidelines.
as committees.
Right.
That's what I thought. Okay, just wanted to double check that.
Yeah.
The question that's been in my head and I want to make sure.
So we could probably go remote. All right, anyway.
So you could just let us know next week. So that concludes my report.
Alrighty, thank you. Moving forward, committee reports, we can keep them short, where possible. Might have a lot of information. Let's start with the letter U, Uniform Services Transportation.
There's not much to say. It was a short meeting, we didn't have a forum. And, we discussed some things about the scooter that, Solomon developing, made a reso regarding scooters.
Right.
Excuse me. And, we spoke about it last week. The packet, your packet, okay? And I came across some information regarding scooters, which I shared with, Victor tonight. I had Madison make up some copies, which should be
We're over there.
on the table regarding scooters. Yeah, as you call it. It's a lot of work to it, and as I said, I gave it to Victor tonight to look over. I meant to send it to you, but I didn't get it.
Officer Stumer gave me this.
Oh, yeah, I got
So
it.
I'm trying to incorporate it into the reso,
Okay,
as well as the feedback I got from Hugo and Vito. So they sent me some.
yeah, so I added it so everybody could take a look at it, and I figured Victor would speak on it, to let you know about it. Okay? It's regarding scooters.
Yeah, electric bikes.
Solid and electric bike. Solid made a reso regarding that, but this will be added on to the reso. Exactly.
Is this about? About being on the sidewalk.
We also had,
To require, scooter owners to, register their vehicles as well as have insurance, like, liability insurance.
You've done it already?
It's, we have a draft,
Draft.
it's a work in progress.
it should be in your packet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the conversation, also talked about the motorized vehicles on the sidewalk. I've been trying to talk about that for 2 years.
That's a different issue.
So, yeah, the different issue,
It's a different issue.
the feedback we got from the 3O
Right.
was that unless it's a vehicle, there's certain criteria that meets what's a scooter and what's an electrical device. It's really the weight of the device and then how fast it can go. If it's a motorized bike, like electric scooter, they will not enforce it. If it doesn't have a plate, they pretty much won't.
Right.
So if they're riding on the
To
sidewalk,
advocate for that, though, anything with the.
Legislation, yes.
Anything with a motor should have a
Needs a
license,
license.
and anything with a motor has been on our sidewalks. And it, for some reason, interestingly, when going around town, it's like only up here, it's only our neighborhood. Brooklyn, I haven't seen it. I
Yes,
haven't
it
seen
is.
It's all over.
Have you
It's
seen it?
all over.
Like,
And the news recently had a special report in Lower Manhattan, I think it's Greenwich Village, where this elderly woman, she was hit twice. She was petrified. And they were asking her, does she have, what do you call that? PTSD or whatever? And she said, yes, she does.
I
Yeah.
was almost
It's all
leaving
over.
the last meeting.
I get off the train at Eastern Parkway in Franklin, and I walk down Eastern Parkway every evening. And they're all over the place, zooming in and out. You just stand still because you don't know where to go.
Yeah.
You got them coming this way, you got them coming that way, and it's crazy. So it's all over.
It's horrible. I go to the village to the doctor. It's all over the place. Plus the fact the streets down there are narrow. They're very narrow. You got both restaurants, the outside restaurants on both sides of the street and the bicycle. It is crazy from 7 to 6 when you get the bus.
Please.
116th Street. When we were riding around to see the parade route, and when we got to 116th Street by Lennox, there were no cars, they were all scooters.
Yep.
Like, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
It's true.
Aren't they
It's
expensive?
horrible.
I think that's actually, like, in that area, I noticed that, I think it's, there's a mosque over there, it's a very African area, and a lot of them are delivery guys.
Oh.
And so they park over there, they live over there, they hang over there,
Yeah.
that's why they're.
Someplace else I was, and I saw Tottenham Park.
Mhm.
And I realized that it must be, maybe not official, but they use it for that.
And I know Stevenson told us that they're working on that.
They have
Doing
confiscated
sweeps over
quite a
there,
bit
yeah.
in the area.
Have they?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
them
so
being
they say-
parked is not hurting us.
Yeah, it was possible.
Second.
People driving
yeah,
on the sidewalk is what's hurting.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Swerve into traffic is
Yes.
still dangerous.
Correct.
You swerving in and out of traffic and assuming that the driver's overseeing you, blind spots exist.
Right.
So it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So the resolution, as I remember reading it, was looking at the sale of the
The bike.
scooters,
Right.
without having a license, registration, and coming with your plate. You can't go to Mercedes-Benz and drive off the show with a car without those things. So I think that the heart of the matter was to start where that is. So if they do have plates, they can be tracked, and start there, but we will also take up,
Yeah.
on the sidewalk.
And I were talking about this 3 years ago, when he was, his last year on the, Fort Martin.
Right.
That used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Be a biker.
right.
Yeah, like we had our own little task force with this, and it just was like, it went nowhere. Nobody would even enter the
We
conversation.
did bring it up
We
with
can.
Stevenson recently when he was here.
Right. We had a meeting with him. Yeah.
And talked about it,
Yeah,
It's
we
about
need to put
enforcement.
something in writing.
It's about
Yeah, it's
enforcement.
Just-
So we can
I got
add
on the
something
community board
to their,
Yeah.
Do you want a separate reso for that, or do you want,
Just add it.
Separate.
we can add it in,
You can add it, in,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
incorporate it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's in
But
the same
no,
under the
no,
same heading.
no, because, and the reason that I don't think so. And the reason is that on this particular thing, it makes distinctions about the weight and all of that.
Mhm.
And I am of the mind that anything with a motor should not be on the sidewalk. It is dangerous to everyone.
I agree.
And I think that is separate, and I think it muddies the water to add it, since they are making those distinctions
Yeah.
with
Well,
the.
You're right, but to be very exact, you're not supposed to ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. either.
Exactly.
Right.
Not even a bicycle.
Not
belongs on the
a-
sidewalk.
Understood,
No,
but,
no,
these are
but
more-
they're not doing
These are
anything
more
about.
dangerous, yes.
We need enforcement.
Yeah, but it comes under the heading of
So,
enforcement, that's the bottom
maybe we
line.
need a resolution.
And you have
to
bikes that have
enforce or
motors.
whatever.
Okay, so it really
Yeah, I was
comes
gonna
under
say the
that
bikes
same
with
heading.
the motors.
We have bikes with
Right.
motors, so it comes under the same heading.
Anything
We just-
with a motor.
Yeah. that-
Well,
so it comes
Lyle
under
has
that
been
heading.
saying for years that we need to press upon our legislators
Well, that's where it has to
to
come from.
create a bill
Yeah.
Yeah,
for that. So that's what we really need to
that's
do.
what you,
is, like,
that's
press
really,
upon
yeah,
them.
yeah, because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what is it, traffic alternatives or whatever they call them, they are against
Transportation
bicycles being licensed. I'm telling you that right now, they are,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
hard.
Bicycles
that
or
should-
motorized
that
bicycles,
muddies
there's
the
two
water.
different, a motorized
Muddies the
bicycle to me is a small car.
Yeah.
It needs to
Yeah.
be
20
licensed.
Yeah.
Got a motor on your bicycle, it need to be licensed.
And I know one of the things that came up before was about we don't have money for signage. I was just in Fargo and literally took a picture because they just printed on the sidewalk, on the, at the cross where you get ready to come to the end of the sidewalk. It says no, no mopeds, no this, no that, and
Okay.
just, and it's right there printed on the ground.
Okay.
We will do a separate one.
Yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
continue with the one you working.
yeah,
on.
I can make a separate.
Just make a look, okay.
So noted, thank you. Anything else, uniform service?
No, oh, I'm done.
All right.
Carolyn, I just wanted, something happened 2 days ago at 131st Street in Amsterdam, in the bus station. A young student, I can see she was a student from Columbia somewhere, and she had a gorgeous gold necklace. Now, we're on the southbound side of Amsterdam.
Right.
This guy comes on the northbound side of Amsterdam in his bicycle and snatched that girl necklace
Yeah.
off.
Wow.
And it wasn't like she was there alone, it was like 4 or 5 of us in the station, but it happened so fast, it was like, God, he stole. So I'm saying to all the ladies, men too, but all the ladies, pay attention how, your necklace is before they snatch it off your neck and keep it, and it's not a motor, it's a regular bicycle
That's
going
right.
up the
They
street.
do it in the train, same thing.
Yeah, I didn't know, I don't know the train, yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Yes, I've heard of that as well.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh."
All right, moving on to economic development.
Who that was about economic development, I can't remember. Well, the money that Fox has that has been misused for so long, and I have to apologize, I was to bring you the copy to show where the money was appropriated for it. And, for like a 3 weeks, since that meeting, I couldn't get my printing, nothing, right? I was supposed to bring you, and the meantime, my print is working now, so hopefully we'll find something. Because we agreed to give her a copy so she could, to show that that money is dedicated for it. And we need to understand that the West Harlem Piers does not have a park. Let's get clear, it does not have a park. It has a grassy area. And therefore, they're not talking to folks, they ain't talking to us, they're just doing whatever they want. No. The West Harlem Piers never had a park, still does.
So we also talked about, the fact that many people don't know about the community board. I know, remember in the past.
What it is.
Used to bring this document, about the community board and the various committees, and I remember we used to carry them in in boxes to all the various events. So I said that it's probably because of, the COVID, we stopped doing that, but you used to do that. Let the new people know that you used to do that all the time.
And we suggest that that may be, just like we have the different groups from WHDC who come to our meetings, maybe a way to do this, to promote the community board, is by asking them to have a clickable link on their website that will go straight to CB9.
That's a good idea.
website, you know? So everybody would have that, and that way we can have more people know about the community board, what the community board does, the various committees and so forth and so on. So that was a discussion that we had. We also talked about our upcoming small businesses forum conference that's coming up, April. I think it's April 23rd. No, April 27th, that's the last, Saturday in April. So, we have committees, or should I say members of the committee, looking at different aspects of the, program, what we need to do. So we spend time strategizing and discussing that.
So that small business conference, April 23rd.
27th. I think that's the Saturday, the last Saturday.
The 27th is the last Saturday.
Yeah.
Where is it gonna be?
So Ms. Dunn is in charge of the space
Oh,
and the
so space to
refreshments.
be determined.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Space
we
to be
allocated, so we allocated the duties to different members.
Okay.
And that's why we said that even though people are not going to be here, we can still have a still have a meeting. So because there's a lot of work to be done, so we can still do it online. Yeah. So that's,
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Laquita, yes.
Are you saying that West Holland peers are suggesting that it be a park, that we will take it as park, or just remain as it is?
West Holland Piers was never. Unfortunately, they came and somebody decided, oh, West Holland Piers Park, and that's how I got the name. I wasn't here, unfortunately, I wasn't even.
But you're not advocating that it be.
No, it shouldn't be a park, it never was a park.
I think it's for park funded.
No, it is not a park, it should not be a park.
Space, so anything that's green space
No.
is.
The piers,
Typically considered.
the piers
part
is a
of
park.
green space.
The West Holland Piers is an important financial, economic area of West Holland. Economic Development Committee of the city and state is what built those piers, helped to build the piers. The money should have never gone to parks, it always had a grassy area, they didn't just invent it. It wasn't as big, but it was always here. So for park to have fun that is not enhancing the area, it needs to be an economic development went to the committee. This money should have put in economic development. But the name park at the end.
There was a park.
Never was. People who were here from, Price Town, no, there never was a park. It always had grassy areas, but it never was a park. And that's why the money is currently misused. Currently, the Parks Department has wasted most of that money.
But that was pretty good.
Right, I'm 2 minutes off of suing them. One of my committee members, a new member said, just sue them right away. See, they were thinking he was supposed to see them right away.
That hasn't been treated wisely.
I'm sorry?
Right.
Has not.
No, because if it had gone to economic development, then the state would have taken care of it, like they were supposed to take care of it. And
Right.
finish the money that they had for the, what's those boats that
I'm gonna go.
they.
Kayaks?
The kayaks, right, the kayak, the new head of, put the money there for that, wasted. The, Riverbank State Park was supposed to train the family and members of the
Right.
No, but they can't, how you gonna go on there and the kayak launch and are you sitting with the money? No, it goes to, there's nothing to do with park.
All right, Joyce.
Sorry, while I'm still, want to have the mic, if I can just do this. 30 Precinct is also having a children's, toy.
30th Precinct?
Community Council. So to have a toy giveaway on the 23rd, here tickets It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You know, tickets, and if you need more tickets, you can always go to the precinct. I think you guys, have some children that, you can give the tickets to, but I'll give it to
Oh,
you anyway.
okay, great.
I got some.
Alrighty, next up,
I wanna reach out to some of these groups.
next up is YEL, but before we go to that, I know your meeting, Shanika, they had like 9 presenters from West Harlem Development Corp. Were they all from?
No. Broadway housing, communities, I don't believe, they didn't mention.
Okay.
Homeschool, the art. They get some grant, but you know,
My
They are.
concern was that they often, when it's coming to the end and they need a signature saying that they attended a meeting, they all rush in at the same time,
That's a
which
lot.
overloads the committee and the meeting itself. So I'm gonna talk to Ziad about that. They can come other times, not all
I
at once.
remember that happening. too.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
It's rough, and it's been happening, I mean, while I've been, co-chair,
Mhm.
I've been, had the honor to be co-chair, it's been happening for the past few years. We have gotten into, let me say, terse discussions with organizers who are really pushing us, like, oh, I have to, and you have to let it, it's like, well, no, I don't, but, you know, I'm trying to work with you, and obviously we always handle it well, but it's just so amazing to me how pushy they get, and I realize that they must feel that pressure on the back end. So we brought it up with Joanna, and she said that she would speak to them, but it's still the same thing this year.
Okay, no problem. I
Yeah.
will bring it up again, because that's how they get the second check. They have to show that they've been
Yes,
to
I
meetings,
understand.
presented.
But they can't.
Can't do it all at once.
Have them start earlier,
Exactly.
or allow it to understand that's gonna go later,
Right.
you know.
So-
Next month, we already have 7 presenters, and we wanna leave us.
Oh, my
I mean, obviously, it's gonna be February. We're not gonna, so after me and you just spoke about it, we're not going to go past 6, because what happens is too, especially, Deirdre's usually in person, I usually take the Zoom. So someone always shows up, either on Zoom or in person, that didn't sign up and wants to try to present, which is a good thing. We actually have met some great organizations like that. We don't wanna push them away and say, well, you gotta sign up, sometimes we have to. Like yesterday, we wouldn't have been able to. But anyway, we wanna allow
All right,
more.
I just want to keep an eye, I know your committee in particular has had that issue, so I'll remind, Ms. Castro about that.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay, all right, so, that, I was gonna discuss that as well, but then, so. Obviously, we had a lively meeting, we had 9 presenters. The main takeaways are this: Broadway Housing Community is having homework club, it's completely remote. It's free, looks like for the most part, Monday to Friday, 3 to 8 p.m. Some students are attending on the weekend, so this is an opportunity for a young person who might need some homework help. It is shy to go in person, somewhere. This would be a great opportunity for them. Also, Homeschooling Arts started tutoring as well. And it's very different from them because everything they've done has been typically on a price point. This is free tutoring for all. So ages, give me a second. No, I don't have the ages, pardon me. I'll get the ages. I've asked Mr. Horton to send us a flyer. He's the leader right now of HSA, but it's amazing. 4 to 7 p.m. every day. You drop in, you get some help. Actually, it is. It's teenagers to young adults. But anyway, I'll get more information, but mostly teenagers and young adults, so keep that in mind. And then another thing I wanted to touch on is that Urban Assembly School for the Performing Arts, which we brought before the community board previously, they are doing really well. Some of their plans with the SBA for construction to get a little bit more use out of the space they have fallen through, but HSA picked up the slack and is allowing them to use their space for arts and for performances. So that's fantastic. That's a really great situation, and we're very appreciative of that. So we keep you updated on that. Well, one last thing I'll mention is that Wendy Hilliard and Figure Skating in Harlem have a very similar trajectory. They have this kind of, I have a figure skater, I have a gymnastics leader, someone that's winning medals, and I'm gonna start an organization. They both started in Harlem, they both have offshoots in Detroit. But Wendy Hilliard served 671 students in 2023. Figure skating in Harlem was only able to serve 170 girls. In 2020, by comparison, their reach is both very large. Big City of Harlem has like, Disney, documentary coming out, like they're really doing things that they don't have the space to go. I just think that's interesting. I thought I'd bring it up just as a conversational piece. And also, they're looking to build their own rink at some point in the future. Obviously, they want it to be in our community, so, but that will, it will be safe or slow. And that's all.
Great, thank you so much for that. Next up, let's hear from Seniors Committee. Mr. Carlton Davis.
Yes.
Senior.
Senior issues, senior actions.
Oh.
Thank you. Anything more?
Well, we had, Miss Naomi Goldberg Hoffs and her team, they came in and they did the place up. I must say, Madison joined us. We had excellent, early morning workout. It was beautiful. It was, all the seniors, we all jumped up and we got down.
It's actually dance,
They
Nate.
have a dance party at your
Naomi's.
place. They didn't hear it on last senior action.
Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Oh.
They better hear it in this room. Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Senior issues also went to see the Rockettes, right?
Oh,
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Senior action.
That's fact. Senior actions committee went to see the Rockettes.
Wow.
What I heard was.
There was a senior day for that.
Mhm.
How many seniors came out, you know?
Colton said there was about 10, between 10 and 12 of them. The bus picked them up here
Nice.
in front of the office and dropped them back off. It was a great show. And I think they have two other dates.
It was a senior day.
William Hamer is the point person, and he has Deirdre and Carlton to help distribute the tickets. So, yeah,
Walter.
I'm sorry, Walter,
The other guy.
to,
Yeah, cause he had tickets for Aladdin, that was a great show.
it was, that was a
Big
great show.
turnout.
I was really impressed.
Be a senior.
Okay.
I'm getting a little jealous, wait a minute. Yeah,
I
they
know.
have some good trips.
They got the hookup. Stop at 19. I gotta get up there with them. Stop at 19. Y'all ain't doing
And the
nothing
bus
at
was right in front of the theater.
Oh, no.
You're
You don't have anything else?
You're too young.
I'm too young. I have to get older. 19 foolishness ain't working.
Their committee report to know.
Yeah.
Coming up. Oh, okay, well, that's.
I guess, or contact Walter. Cause I know he mentioned that for the Rockettes, there are 2 more dates. I don't know exactly
Oh, wow.
what the dates are, but they're in January.
Yeah.
And they're open to all seniors, any senior in the community, right? You just have to
Yeah.
request.
Not just the committee, but any senior.
Yeah, any seniors in the
area.
community is.
Well, how many tickets do you think? How many tickets do they have to get? Do you know?
You gotta ask me.
I guess we had at least about 20 or 30 tickets the first go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But as you know, more people win, they don't come back the second time, so it gives other people a chance, so.
Yeah.
Tickets may be reduced to about at least 15 per committee or something like that, but people do show up.
Yeah. And they see the Rockettes every year. They went last year too. The year before that.
I'm being nice to 55, honey. Oh, we all have to 55. I hang out
Too
with
young to see.
you know, with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 50 something?
It's
That's
55.
All righty, moving
I
on.
need to hang out with you guys.
Thank
I'm
you.
older than this.
The update on there. Seniors.
I didn't hear my.
Arts, Ms. Hardeman
We're gonna share it in.
and Ms. Lovely.
Okay, on Monday, there's going to be a walkthrough with Columbia and WAA of the proposed phase. I don't know if it's temporary.
Ladies. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Okay, you know, talking about the walkthrough on Monday.
I'll be there.
You said it's at Florentina?
Florida,
The old Florida.
yeah.
Oh. That's.
We're looking
Really?
for alternate space, we're proposing alternate spaces as well.
Wait, so it's only on 12th Avenue, that's on here?
Yeah.
Well, but it's kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
But go ahead, sorry.
For parking.
Florida been cold, Marina.
Ben,
Where
you been?
North Manhattan Arts Alliance, just announced 400 square feet photography studio for the Heights. Children's Art Carnival has an upcoming holiday sale and carnival exhibition program Homecoming. Trinity Church, this was really interesting. I didn't know that the, graveyard up across the street from Bowie.
Yeah.
Is affiliated with Trinity Church downtown.
Yeah.
They're announcing they had the 200th anniversary of the Night Before Christmas home. The Church of the Intercessors will host an event, a candlelight procession to Clement Clark Moore's grave and a celebration outside.
So that,
Clement Clark,
yeah,
go ahead.
oh, you say it. I just wanted to make sure you were gonna say it.
Clement Clark Moore wrote the Night Before Christmas. And it's a celebration.
Where is that?
And he's buried in our cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because there's a couple of other famous people buried in that cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Date, I don't have.
Gonna have the date.
They have a date, but it's not in the.
Okay.
minutes. Yeah. National Jazz Museum gave a presentation. They're having an International Jazz Day, April 30th. They're still looking for a venue. The Jazz Power Initiative, Janny Gonzalez. We have, an ode to Eddie Palmieri, 4 to 6 at the National Jazz Museum in Harlem. The Epic Theater Ensemble, Melissa Friedman, co-founder and co-artist director, is having the West Harlem Corp Urban Assembly School for the Performing Arts, 9th graders classical plays, using their voice as playwriters and performers, 100 9th graders in English class embedded in the curriculum. That's kind of impressive. Jose Limon Institute, they're having a gala performance and a luncheon. And the Harlem Media Group, Paul Phillips, What's Eating Harlem TV show. I'm not familiar with it, but many people were.
Yeah, well, I watch it.
Oh.
Which TV show is that?
What's Eating Harlem?
Oh.
It's their 10th anniversary covering
Where do you see
restaurants and
that?
Where's
MCB9.
it at? Where? That's going on.
Clay the Edge Dinosaur Restaurant, and these are some examples. Andra Harlem School of the Arts, NYC Life TV, what'seatingharlem.com, if anyone is interested in getting more information. We also discussed the, Columbia Community Art Space. What some of the suggestions for the usage of the space. And that's it.
And,
Where is this
space?
Where is the Columbia Community Arts Space?
Could you repeat that, please?
Florida.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
They're
they're
gonna use that space.
They're
Okay.
looking at
They're looking at it.
I got it now.
Right.
Thank you.
yeah, we are.
One of
we're-
the options.
We actually, we presented it to our committee, but we are open to suggestions and ideas about how that space should be divided in terms of, different things, a media space, a dance space, or this or that, and also suggestions as to how much should be dedicated to each space. Really quickly, I'll try to go fast. First of all, we had no quorum. Secondly, to what Joyce was saying about a lot of people not knowing what we do, I put a place right after we adopt the agenda and the minutes in our, I put an announcement space in our agenda that and my announcement every month is, part of it is who we are and what we do. Because before I came to the community board, I had no idea Stigney called me to sing at something. And I was like, you're with who? With what? And, you know, most people don't know what we do or who we are, so, and even the people that have to come before us still don't know, you know, they come, they sit through a meeting and they leave and they still don't know, so I take the opportunity to say it. Harlem Arts Alliance, there are some things that happen, outside of the meeting, but they're arts and culture related, but I just want to mention. Harlem Arts Alliance is a newly appointed facilitator of the theater at Riverbank State Park. And they are trying to come up with what their programming will be. And everything from performances, they also can hang art and all of that, so please keep that on your agenda. While they're coming up with that, and if anybody has anything, you can be in touch with them or be in touch with me. And I'll definitely deliver that information. The woman I was talking about, Tova, who was the tailor who was looking for space and looking to connect and to teach tailoring for free in our community. Just an update, we did get her in touch with So Harlem. No, we don't have anything concrete yet, but she's got options now. Also at the Monday, at Savannah's thing at the Harlem Sculpture Garden opening on Monday, there were so many different arts related and non-arts related, but sort of fiduciary organizations that I connected with. I had a good talk with Harlem School of the Arts, who I have 9 years on the board, have never seen at a meeting. And I approached them and talked to them, and so we're actually gonna meet up, and they agreed to come to a meeting. And back to Tova, one of the conversations was asking them if they had an arts, had a fashion piece, and they said that they actually had just launched one and we're looking to relaunch it because they just did one program and then kind of were figuring it out. They want to meet Tova. They have space and they have machines. And that's what she was looking for. So she's got So Harlem and also HSA to deal with. Really quickly, David Shargani has The Getaway, and there is that space. It is.
That's the color that comes with the
Yes.
board last time?
Yeah.
It's got that space and he has, complimentary concert too?
Yes, I'll find the address, but it's really an outdoor space and it's like under one of the bridges with the arches and stuff. And he has gotten the city to grant him this space and he's fixing it. He's fixing the indoor part, but the outdoor arches, he was doing stuff in the summertime. He's still working on it. He's trying to get the money. But in the meantime, he wants to give this community a space. He wants us to A, have entertainment, and B, if we have, arts organizations that need a place to perform, he's got space and he really wants to be involved. So if anybody has, I can put you in touch with him as well.
Also needs funding.
Yes.
So if anybody has any way or any options that might be able to provide him, because I don't think that the space is really insulated well.
Yeah, and closing this
So-
out, our Hamilton Theater, we try to get an update every month. We've tabled it because right now it is just.
It's spinning, I agree.
Yeah, it is just nowhere. I don't know, and he's not with us anymore. West Harlem Arts Alliance, is he still on the board? Oh, he was on LOA? Okay, West Harlem Arts Alliance has microloans of $500 that you can contact Michael Palma if you are in need of that, or if you know anyone who is in need of that. And last question, this is sort of an everybody thing. I had, speaking of the WHDC people, I had two people, and I'm not gonna say their names because they are people that are actually dear to the board, they're, long timers.
All right.
They came to us at the last minute. One of them claimed he had reached out to us and was like, oh, I'll be there. I just wanted to make sure you got mine. But he actually didn't send us anything, but we fit him in. Then somebody showed up at the meeting and was not on the agenda, and we fit her in. But we fit them in under community updates, which we give them 3 minutes, almost like public session, not an actual presentation. But then after I did that, they didn't tell me that they were trying to do that for WHDC. So they after they did the 3-minute thing, which was not an actual presentation, they sent me forms to sign. I still haven't signed them because I'm kind of like, I'm not sure what.
I got people coming to the wrong committee for me a couple of times and but I need this signed. So it's a little pushy. We need to definitely.
But I do refuse them when they do things like that.
Refuse.
If I don't get a full presentation, I do refuse them. That's an intent.
Yeah, and they both, I had to stop both of them because they tried to keep going. But, I was like, we fit you into this 3-minute thing and they didn't even specify, had they even told me, I might have felt a little better about it.
So you
Told the chair.
You don't have to sign.
No,
No.
you'll be right.
I will take it up with West Palm Development, which I've done before, that we can't have 9 representatives come, or we can't have people who just show up and say, I want to present.
Right.
Because you want to get your second
How long
part of
did
your
you
check.
give each
right?
presentation?
We tell them 5 minutes, but I give them, like, if I see that they're nearing the end of presentation, no, but we have a discussion which helps draw more. But I do want to say that something you mentioned is very important. They didn't mention the WHCC piece, which for me is a problem because I want to ask you questions about your grant. You received your grant, how are you using it?
Right.
And how does it benefit CP9? Some of them tell me, in their presentation, I don't have to ask, but it's important. So that I would,
And that's the whole purpose of them coming, to
Yeah.
meet with us and work with us, because in the past, it was a struggle. They didn't have to do this.
I know.
It was a fight to have them come, but now they're coming, but you can't wait till the last minute. They know way ahead,
They do.
months ahead,
know
that they
in
need to
advance,
present,
right.
but they would some, so. Wait till the last minute, they have to rush in and do it.
Seems like there needs to be more organization.
I happen to know, it's very strange and I almost didn't want to bring it up because it just found out but these are people, these 2 happen to be people who I know are doing the work. But the way they slid in, it's not the first time that it happened. It just happened to be 2 people I know who are doing the work. Usually it's somebody I never heard of before.
I don't think it's being clarified with them from WHDC, how they're supposed to go about doing this. I think
The requirement.
WHDC is saying, we're doing it, but they're not giving them
Exactly.
guidance.
And you know what? Actually, I think I read something and it says they just have to present before a committee. It doesn't have to
That's
be
what
a
I was
relevant
getting people that were not
It could
part
be
of.
I will take it up again.
It needs clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take
they
it.
need guidelines.
And my committee guidance.
Moving on
All right.
to,
They're gonna go to your committee.
health and environment. Ms. Laquita Henry?
Okay, as everyone knows, my co-chair, Dr. Edward Torres, is still on leave of absence. And, but we have, so far, we've always had a quorum, so that part is really good. Let's see, so I just, but what we didn't have our, person or volunteer who takes minutes, the last 2 minutes. So I mentioned that, I think I mentioned it to you, or somebody I talked to, I don't know who's.
Not about the minutes.
So what's the issue with the minutes?
Well,
No one
we haven't had
volunteered.
anyone to take.
Okay.
But I
We can
have
send
that
you the
record.
recording, someone can do it that way.
That's what happened.
Oh, good.
Requested it for, and so hopefully both, November and December will be part of the January, minutes.
Okay, now I recall that email. Who was it that was supposed to?
Generally Patricia Ramos.
Yeah.
And she does a beautiful, excellent job, but she was, on work leave, she couldn't attend like the, November meeting, and I don't know what happened. So, we're gonna get the minutes together though, so that we vote And maybe even January, right? Yeah, probably January too. Our meeting in January is January 8th, which is the second Monday in January. We did have a preliminary, not preliminary, but another discussion on, residential parking. And it was just to review with everyone. I had Amir, who is totally against it, suffering. And I had hoped he would be objective. I think he tried, but he did try, but it wasn't that objective. And so, when Victor and I talked, possibility of a town hall, maybe the issue may be important to do because all of a sudden, including congestion pricing, all of this is in the news and they're talking about the city council voting somewhere soon, I'm not sure in March, but we need to have some final, input and have community. I don't know if our January 8th meeting could be a town hall on a Monday. But that's one of the things we really need to plan. Maybe we could do it for February. And the reason February ends up being good is not only because it's before this, I think, March vote or whenever it is are coming before the city council, but also, the youth have got a call from, the forum at Columbia. And they offered us a March date, March 16, for our public health forum, which gives us more time and moves it out of February, where the weather is more unpredictable. And I have a February 10, maybe we don't know.
So you're gonna do your health forum March
March 16th, Saturday, March 16th, put it in the spring. It's also Women's History Month. And it's, I think Malik said something about kidney.
Yes, kidney
awareness.
awareness month as well.
And, basically, you spend the more time. We've done a lot of work, but it still takes some of the pressure off of that.
You were gonna send us some information to add to the newsletter?
Yeah, I was gonna do a same thing tomorrow. I think we talked about it this Friday. I hope it wasn't. Things in the swamp, but tomorrow, just a little save the date that we can put in the news.
So it's just to save the date, it wasn't anything else?
I
to
have a
promote it?
couple of ads that, should be ready. They can go in. They're promos from the link NYC or one, but I think it needs more work. So,
Okay, we'll just do save the date
okay,
and give the location. And what's the time?
11 to 4. 11 in the
11
morning,
for March 16th at the forum.
March 16th at the 4.
It's already confirmed because I spoke to Kim Milan at the forum.
Right, I was
So
glad.
she has it marked in.
I'm glad, I'm glad that you called about it. And that she informed me that
Mhm.
the offer was there.
Is there any possibility of doing your town hall not at the same time? Because I would love to do it.
Oh, I believe we'll probably, yeah, I think it's important to not have it the same day. But now, I just thought about January 8th, but Victor thinks it's too soon. But we need community input.
That's 2 weeks. January 8th.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Well-
So maybe.
And
we
with
could
the
look at-
holidays,
Maybe we could look at end of January,
Okay,
but we do need to do it, and it doesn't. I think it needs to come out of committee. We also have wanted, and I think some of them shared with you from services, the concept back in, either September, we talked about it, but we need uniform services, also to look at least the draft of the resolution, but even that draft needs, some change. For what? Residential parking. But we haven't come up with a total decision.
all right, so when you get the final draft, send it, because I'm really to Jimmy Park.
Okay, but it's become a bigger, it's far bigger. Our January meeting might end up being something like a town hall.
And how did the guy that's against it end up being the one to write the summary?
He did. I just asked him to do the summary and try to be objective, because I said, we're the community. Yeah, we have to be able to see both sides, right? Even if you have to agree on one, but at least see both sides. Two of our, 4 West Farm Development Corporation grantees, came City Harvest and Exhale to Inhale, to make a presentation. You'll hear more about that in, minutes when they come out. And then, let's see, the other thing, we don't have, Monica, came up with wanted to do a Narcan training workshop. I didn't get the sense that she had gotten too much farther on it, other than, you know, she has a contact to a group that does it, provides the kids. And, we probably need a weekday, or, and I don't know if she's still trying. Not sure, if I'm just letting that, but in our meeting, there were 2 other groups that had Narcan training available. And I believe I sent a couple of them to you, so but I'll send them again, because one is in January, Department of Health and Mental Health was a Narcan training workshop. I'll just send it again to you. And City University, no, State, Deborah Levine's group, Carl has one too. So our committee has it, people can mail to, but we need to send it out again. So there are all kinds of opportunities for the Narcan training workshop. And that will be it. Just put it in your calendars about March 16. And we're looking for the centerpiece of that. We call it a public health forum, not a health fair. There will be a number of tables, and we're gonna have companies that we've already reached out to them. I talked to Ross Frommer, who most people know is Vice Senior VP or VP at Columbia University Irving Medical Center. It looks very positive, you know, that they will help us, will be a sponsor. And that they will be getting the experts. Now, Monique has an expert that she has in mind for cannabis. I think that's very important. But it will relate to clinical research and trials. And we as a community oftentimes say that, no, we don't know anyone. No one's called us about a survey or to do some research. Well, it's an opportunity. And we're gonna have like Dr. Williams, Ola G. Williams, talk to us about how to select the right research trial, what to look for in terms of clinical research, because we need the data.
So you're gonna have screening vehicles. Kim said, are you breaking out into rooms also?
We want to also do 3 breakout rooms, one dealing with maternal, I don't want to say maternal mortality, but ultimately that's what we're trying to do. Mortality. And then youth mental stress is the second one. And the third one was on cancer research. So there's always a lot of information where people can, there'll be sections and people can, right there before.
We could talk offline because we need to meet and make sure that she has that. I know she said she has the space downstairs. She has a room, I think 1 or 2 rooms upstairs, but we could talk offline.
Okay, great. We're still, and Dr. Fontil has been working with me really closely. Edwin's been away. And we haven't been working right on Monique, when we met Shelley, and all that body. Oh, and Dr. Danielle Milano at Heritage has been fabulous. She's getting, coordinating the mammogram, the colorectal screening van, and there's a 3rd van. So there'll be a lot of services, and then the bio bus for young people.
All right, so we can talk offline,
Yes.
because we're running a little behind, but thank you, great report, a lot going on. You want to see-
We're getting to the end of the report. I think that's more of it.
you want to see the tape?
I got a teasing back.
It wasn't
Thank
me.
you.
Housing, land use and zoning, I had the pleasure of sitting in your meeting.
Thank you for coming, Victor. As you know, busy as always. So also didn't have a quorum. It was kind of lonely in this room last Tuesday night. We are, very consumed by the City of Yes. You all know this, Mayor Adams' City of Yes proposals. A lot of them have, big changes to zoning that is trying to come through, and it's a lot. So the first one, you know, has already gone through. That one was kind of, not too bad, it was kind of easy, but the next one, zoning for economic opportunities. So I want to make sure you two ladies are aware and read up on it. We need more eyes on this. There are 1,200 pages of changes in their document.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe the actual changes are not 1,200, but the description of everything. So we need more eyes on this. We need our community, more eyes of our community on this. Right now, they came to our meeting 2 meetings ago with their presentation. And then we asked a lot of questions and we said, how do we regurgitate this, take it all in, and then give you our thoughts on this in like a month? They extended it to our deadline, I think right now for responses, January 31st. Still very short on time for us to regurgitate this and give them something back.
I sent you guys a document where the
The
zoning
memo.
could change, they could open up late night cabarets. And
Yeah.
they're
yeah.
changing the zoning where they could just
There is
have
a
it
lot
anywhere.
of changes, so a lot of it has to do with, there's some stuff about small business owners in there and some things about, that's what this is focused on. A lot of small business owners and changing zoning, making it a little easier for some people to do business out of their homes. There could be some good ideas in there, you know, but there's just so much, we need more eyes. I am thinking that we do a joint meeting in January, that's why I want to talk to you about date. I will be out of town, but I could make your meeting on the 3rd, I think. But we should.
I thought you changed it. You changed it to the 3rd.
To the 3rd. I just changed it to the 3rd. Yeah, went to the 2nd, which I couldn't have made, but maybe I can do the 3rd if it's the 3rd and we can at least talk. But I think there needs to be a public forum of some sort where the public can come in and ask questions, combining the two of our committees, as well as getting the word out. And we should pick a date for that in January.
When is the deadline?
As early as we can. January 31st, they're asking for, it could be pushed off a little bit more, however, we gotta be prepared for it. For a response January
I think you
31st.
they make a lot of changes in terms of that zoning. Yeah, they made a lot of changes.
There's a lot
It's a
of
lot of
changes
yeah,
being proposed,
yeah,
and I will
not
send
being
you both.
proposed.
She's
saying already made.
Oh, yes, no, there's
Some
already
things
a lot
been
of
already
changes that have been
They've
made.
eliminated some of them.
Oh, yeah,
They've
yeah,
eliminated a lot.
but I'm gonna send you both the documents they've given to us so far.
Right.
Now, the ones that you're giving
have already been cleared or you know, do they have the ones that have already been handled or they still have?
These are all proposed that we're
Just
talking
proposed.
about right now.
Okay,
It's all
that's the ones
proposed
we
and
need, yeah.
it's in the phase now where we're reviewing it. They've presented to us, we're supposed to review and give them our thoughts
Yeah.
and do some sort of reso or letter
Yeah, I can do that.
explaining, you know, what we're good with, what we're not good with,
Right.
what our recommendations are. But it's a lot to regurgitate. We need more heads and eyes on this, and we need the community to be brought into this process much better. So could we find another date together to do some sort of forum?
You don't want to
I
join?
say January 18th, the general board, we should have a public hearing.
Do you think, well, I hate to take up too much time. If it's
That's
separate, then.
important.
That's an important issue.
Yeah.
That's a board issue. So,
And in the
Okay, so-
meantime, I could get that document out to the board.
Yeah.
So that they could review it.
absolutely. Let me send you also, because they sent it, so all the questions that we asked, they put into a memo with answers for community board 9, 10, 11, 12. All the questions that all those boards had, they put a memo, they just sent it to us a couple days ago. I hope you saw it, I hope you saw it, Yutha, because it answered a lot of the questions people had, you know, like, does this affect, you know, does it override landmarks? Does it do this? Does it do that? And so they answered a lot of questions in that, but there's still so many questions. So we'll send you everything we have. I just want to make you ladies aware that we need to get together on this and
Yes.
we need the public to see this. Because there is just so much in there. It's heavy.
So
And this is
you
the
attend
second
economic
of
development.
3 text amendments
Yeah,
that they're
that's what she
trying
said.
to.
That's what it says, it's like the economic development.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the second of 3 that are
I
going
wanna
through
have
for the
ready
city.
before she comes to the meeting. Well, let me
Yeah,
get this.
so general board will do it.
Mhm.
We're gonna, so let's get a flyer together sooner than
Mhm.
later and we can all just start spreading the word that we will be focused on this,
Talking about January general. board?
January 18th. And then we hopefully have a couple weeks to get together and get our thoughts together. And maybe they'll push it off a little by then
Maybe so,
too.
because some
It's
more
very
changes
possible,
will
because
happen.
I think other community boards are concerned as well.
Cindy, in the last year, Barry had a zoning, resolution. He did, and those were sent to our city council people.
Are you talking about the one that makes outer areas a little bit more
Yes,
able to develop?
not have a supportive housing. Do you think any of that got in any of these zoning proposals?
I don't think they got, no, I don't think those got into the city of, yes. That was quite a, you know, we call it, what would we call it? He rambunctious, not rambunctious, what's the word I'm looking for? Revolutionary kind of thinking, you know?
So no revolutionary.
Yeah, so I don't think that got in there yet. We gotta keep pushing
Say you
on
want
on things like that.
Plan to implement this.
So first, it goes through this period of review, right? These are text amendments. Remember, we went through the text amendment where we did the mandatory inclusionary housing a couple years back, right? That was one where we had to do this as a text amendment. So right now it's in, you know, being reviewed by community boards for feedback. Then it will be, you know, looked at and see if there's things they want to change. And then, depending on how drastic the change is, they might have to go back to, you know, boards again. I don't know if doubt that's gonna happen, but once they do that, then it, you know, city council. So there is a process that we can also send out maybe with this to explain to folks how the process goes, you know? But it has been delayed already a couple times because they understand that community boards have been giving them pushback because it's a lot to absorb with such little time. So that is important. I just want to make sure that we focus in on that in the next month or so. The other couple of things from our meeting, there are two bills that we always are watching legislation when it comes around housing and zoning and all this. Two bills that we want to make you aware of. One is about getting Wall Street out of the housing market. You might have noticed that Wall Street hedge funds are starting to buy up some of these single family homes in our neighborhood too, and doing Airbnbs and things like this. And so there's one bill that has been put out there to get Wall Street out of the housing market. There's an article about it, and there's a bill that's been, you've read it. And then there's another one that's repealing tax breaks for NYU and Columbia, specifically just pinpointing the two of them. Yeah, and Cordell Clear, our own Cordell Clear. We would love to have their representative come and talk to us about that bill that they're proposing.
Which meeting at the?
It may be general now, if we can, at the general meeting. I assume Cordell will have someone.
They're all supposed to have someone.
Yeah, well, if we can check to see if she can have someone come and talk to us about it. Yeah.
I'll be at the December
The
meeting.
public hearing is just, so
I won't be here.
So if we can just request that they come and talk to us about, I think she's actually involved in a couple of both of those in some level, maybe, but the tax break one was definitely hers, so.
well, my office could reach out to them and remind them that the meeting is December 21st. All electeds are supposed to be there or have a representative there. So we'll point out that it's very important that someone be at the meeting because there's some urgent matters that we want to discuss. I will have my office.
Yeah.
Call her office.
Okay.
So those are the alerts that have.
Remember.
Yeah.
Next week.
No, some of the legislation they have.
Right. Okay.
So those,
Specifically a zoning specialist.
yeah, this was, you know, it's a tax base repeal for real estate taxes, right? So it would be around real estate. And then, just to put on our radar, yet again, it's still going through its processes. It hasn't been certified, I believe, yet, but 135th and 12th Avenue. Remember that way back when they were trying to build over the Amtrak? This was something that came to us a few years back. We kind of squashed it. Yeah, on 12th and 135th, and there was also a sinkhole there at one time that we were addressing.
Yeah.
So that the zombie project, as we call it, has come back to us and we need to keep an eye on that. It's not certified yet or anything, so. But we would like to, put maybe a letter together
But I
before they
remember
get
them
done.
trying to bring the overpass over there.
Yeah, they've got
I don't
another,
remember because I know we were dealing with 12th Avenue a
Yeah.
lot, if you remember. So they never came to us about an overpass. They never came to us at all.
well, they came to us in 2019 with some crazy ideas and now they're trying to.
I
do
guess
more
that's
crazy
why,
things.
because it never
So-
happened.
Yeah, no.
Shanika,
We got-
I don't want to know who is coming and building overpass for what?
So in this, I encourage you all, if you want to learn more, to go to the ZAP portal, which is the online portal. That tells you what they've submitted and all of that, and it's not at the point yet for our review officially, but we think, maybe we should get ahead of the game and put a letter together trying to squash it, because Amtrak even was like, y'all can put this proposal in, but.
It ain't happening.
Yeah, 'cause that's what
It's
I'm
a
saying.
crazy because
Yeah,
there's
yeah, not gonna
safety
let it happen.
issues with Amtrak, there's like international, safety issues, there's things
Yeah.
that Amtrak.
It's like-
There was a letter from Amtrak saying, you can put it in, but.
Right.
So,
you take a look at it.
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Who got time to go on the portal and read all that stuff?
Landmarks, parks, ladies?
Yeah, well, we'll work together. We're still struggling with forum. I think there are 11 members assigned to our team, and there are 2 people who have never showed up to any meetings, virtually or in person. We have a few members who only attended virtually, and we've only had 4 members who have consistently showed up in person. So even if it was a committee of 9, we just would not make quorum with only 4 people doing that. So I'll provide a summary to you all,
Yes.
by the
Let
end
us
of the
know
week.
when, we're gonna do a
Yeah.
attendance review very shortly.
Yes, so for the attendance review, so I have that, I'm working on. And just a few announcements, this Saturday at the greenhouse at Riverbank State Park, they're having a family pharmacy giveaway where they'll be giving away some herbal teas and handmade teas and herbs. Look out for New York City Parks is already looking for lifeguards in the summer. So, the application will involve a swim test and a vision test. The complete program and training, I believe, which is paid 16 weeks and 40 hours, for the, and you have to sign up by the end of January. And you need to be able to swim 50 yards in 45 seconds, and your vision has to be suitable without corrective lenses. So, look out for that, and let's see what else will I do. Then we had a very lively presentation from, Calvin McAllister, the senior president of Uptown Inner City League Sports, at the Annunciation Park Playground, in conjunction with PS 161. And Ned and I guess we'll both do that together, but some issues around that were, that he placed some cameras, storage bins, porta potties, and a batting cage without the permission of the Parks Department. So.
Well, I won't say it was without their permission. I think that he's had that equipment there for some time and it is now under review. So for Kelvin's program is an important part of this community. It's been in existence for a good 25 years or better. And we need that program here. I think the bigger issue is dialogue and process. And the Parks has to take some responsibility for not necessarily not being clear, but having a working relationship with the organizations in our community. And on Kelvin's part, as the president of his organization, there has to be dialogue and there's a process. And when there's a process in place, you need to meet that process. It's sort of crying wolf,
but in the same token, you're not doing your part. So there's a distinction there. I think the community board, him being able to give a presentation, gave him an opportunity to hopefully open the doors for some dialogue. The director of permits for all of New York City was there. So now, they know each other and hopefully.
He gave a very good presentation, I think.
Yeah, so.
They have to make sure that everything is equitable and fair across the board, that every box has. And they did make some concessions for Kelvin because of his, what he's given back to this community for so many years. And there's new management, there's something involved, that there's been a change, and so, there were some issues there, and then there is a building, an ADA, a public restroom, small building at 135th Street on the northwest corner that was brought up, but probably, it's too late to make it into our needs assessment for this year, but it's something that we want to look out for, I believe. Renovating that building at 135th Street, that also came up in that meeting.
135th and what?
And
No, it's right on Amsterdam. It's right as you enter the park. It's a building that was there when I attended public school 161. It was fully functional. So it had after-school programs, all of that. Over time, they removed the bathrooms and it's been sort of an equipment storehouse. So Matt had suggested that we put it in our needs assessment, and that would support Kelvin and having a place to store his containers. So, that's something that we need to look into.
So that's something, even though we just submitted our documents, the process starts over again. We just did FY 25, now we're gonna be doing FY 26. So you could start, it would be ideal, like any of the committees. If you have anything that was left out of FY 25, you can start the discussions for FY 26, because it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
I did know there's one other thing that, we'd like to be able to do in conjunction with the Senior Action Committee. In light of the Million More Trees initiative, there are quite a few people who have always asked about tree pruning, the tree roots. And it's been very difficult for us to get a presentation from Manhattan Forestry. And I remember in the last executive committee meeting, Walter brought up the fact that many seniors are complaining about the, sidewalks and the cracks in the sidewalks due to the tree roots, that are causing the problems with the sidewalks. But Manhattan Forestry, due to budget issues, they can't make our evening meeting, so I'm wondering maybe in conjunction with the Senior Action Committee meeting, that maybe they can do their presentation during the 11 o'clock meeting. To give us some direction, on those issues, on how we can deal with the sidewalk.
Good idea.
And that's from Manhattan Forestry.
Oh,
Question?
Heather, doesn't that have something to do with the roots underneath the ground?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because the roots are growing and pushing the trees out.
Concrete
Sorry.
roots are causing trip hazards.
Right, okay.
And the city's supposed to repair that, but it has to be, so we wanted a presentation of it. Okay.
Barry?
Is there anything, 2021, I grew flowers all on my street, on my block. And, this year, I didn't actually do it, but some of the ones that I did that were growing back, were coming in, and my building cut them down. And, it's the second time they cut them down, actually, but this time they told my super to do it, and when I asked him about it, he said he had actually they got a ticket. So, can you put me in touch with anybody, or in terms of like beautification? I worked really hard to make it beautiful, but I was literally out there almost all day. It was 2021. There was not a lot of work. I could do that.
Did you get a ticket for parks, or did you get a ticket for sanitation?
I don't know who they got a ticket from, but just in terms of the tree beds,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, who's in charge and what, you know what I mean? Like, how can I sort of connect with somebody to find out the rules, to know what's going on, so that I can be able to do this, so that people are not just cutting them down and my building's not getting.
That would also be part of this presentation, because they also do with the tree,
The tree beds, okay.
Yes.
Also, just, do you all know of anybody that, provides those tree guards?
tree guards. Yes, there is a program for that, and that was in our Building More Trees presentation that, what it was, the resolution that we did, that we were.
Citizens Committee of New York,
Yeah.
you could also
Yeah.
call them.
Okay,
And
Okay.
block associations,
yeah.
they normally advise them. that-
Yeah. I thought it was a block association thing.
Well, you can get a grant through a block association.
Yeah,
You
okay.
just need an account.
But I think
Got it.
Citizens Committee of New York
Yeah.
would be able to help.
So there's also a Parks Department,
I'll go with
grant, there's,
10 minutes.
I have info.
you got 10
Anybody needs advice.
So this will be a coming up.
I'm gonna ask them if they could sponsor the
Yeah.
presentation.
Ladies, can you continue that offline?
Yes.
And just one last note, Savannah Billy McLean has done some work in around tree guard planting. I want to speak with her this summer. She was doing a whole thing on that.
Oh, wow.
She knows the contacts.
Daria, let's
Paul.
talk after the meeting too. I have
Thank you.
I have some experience.
Taz,
Okay, Cannabis Task
Cannabis Task Force.
Force. Don't have the minutes for November, because our meetings are at the end of the month, just before we meet, so you'll see them next month. But I wanted to share with you, the minutes from October, only to let you guys know that the Cannabis Task Force is still out there trying to do work. And, I want to thank, many of the members who've been able to come and work with me since my co-chair is on leave, Solomon, Carolyn, Daria, and others. Thank you for your support. What I have presented, today, and I keep actually bringing it, and I don't know how to push it forward, is two things. One, these guidelines and, regulations that we wanted to use to help us in the review of applications that come in. And we've gotten only 10, thank God, but more will be coming. And we want to be in a position where we're prepared to have something in place so that when people are coming to us and we have to maybe object to an application, we can do so with force, because we can say, based on the guidelines, you're not 200 feet away from the said school or 500 feet away from a community facility. All these things that are in here have been taken from the OCM guidelines, which are a foundation coming from the SLA. So I just wanted to make sure I stated that, which is why I keep bringing this to the board members, because we haven't officially voted on it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that after much discussion at our last meeting, and Darren, you can interject as well. There were concerns and things expressed in terms of people coming to us who might submit an application or did submit an application, and us understanding the nature of the business. You know, how are they operating their business? And so we wanted to be able to address that. And so the second thing here, which is 2 pages, Mattis, maybe you can pull it up because the back page is missing. This particular form, you know, would be given to applicant to fill out so that we can have a better understanding of the nature of the business that is coming into our community. And the latter part of the form in particular, because many of the members here had expressed, well, how do we know how business is going to operate? How are they going to control the crowd? How are they going to control odor that might be coming from the establishment? What will be their hours of operation? We wanted to be able to ask those questions of whoever is coming into our community so that we have an idea. And with the 10 applications that were presented to us, you know, a lot of us did footwork. We went out and to look to see exactly where those places were going to be so that we could determine if they were in locations that were considered acceptable, meaning not near a school, not near a park where there are children, not near a church. And, things of the, huh? Yeah. So we physically went to these locations to look and,
And explain to them as well, it's not like a liquor license. It's definitely not like a liquor license. Comes on a different heading.
right, it isn't like a liquor license, even though we're using some of the parameters from, for those who are applying for a liquor license. Remember, cannabis is a new uncharted territory. As Victor said, they're building the plane and flying in and trying to navigate, and it's a lot going on. But it is an opportunity for us to weigh in and to shape how this will roll out so that we can have it be as successful as it can be in our community. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. And Daria has been consistently at the meetings with me. I don't know if there was anything you wanted to add, because I didn't want to drag it out.
I do, but,
The back
very,
is up.
So the back of the application that you guys are looking at now, that is the back of it. That's the rest of it. So that goes specifically to asking questions around noise control, security, and, any sort of strategy that you might have in place in terms of what they call an incident plan. And, how, as I just said, controlling smoking outside the area. I know with the illegal places, that's an issue. And, we're trying to make sure that whoever comes in to the community, they're coming in and being good partners. And, so that we can support them, in their efforts, because, we want to support people coming into the community and doing the right thing. Now,
we're gonna get the ones with both sides, they're gonna come out.
say what?
Gonna
Yeah.
send us the ones
Yeah.
with both sides.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the back, but yeah.
Send it out.
Go ahead, Daria. Did you want to say something?
Yes.
And a question?
we're not voting on this, right? Because we didn't vote on it in committee. We haven't voted on either one of these in committee. We didn't even
No.
discuss this one.
So in committee, actually, we've had several conversations about these guidelines, which is why I didn't go to uniform services, because I wanted to get buy-in or making sure that in terms of how they do their review, to make sure that this was sort of, I would say, consistent with what they did. So I know, I feel good about this. I feel this is solid.
Very respectfully, I do not.
Okay.
We mentioned these guidelines, but we didn't go through the guidelines together. We have not actually talked about them, and like, if we were to, for instance, vote on them today, there's so there's some things that we have discussed in passing,
Okay,
but not actually put down,
okay,
that I think need to be thought about.
all right. Well, Chair,
Come in.
I'm not sure like how we want to proceed. I mean, I know I've been asking for this to be reviewed and to get feedback on since
Way
Since
back.
last-
Right,
but
last
we
year,
haven't
no,
either.
I know.
But in
Right.
the, but in
Oh, I'll read it. I'll read it
isn't,
now.
isn't the procedure that is supposed to be voted on in committee and then brought?
Yes.
And that part, that's the part that we have not,
right,
we didn't have formed the last meeting,
okay,
but we
I
still.
think the
we
issue,
didn't
one of the
discuss
issues is here is not getting people on the committee to even look at it, to do that part. So we might have to move
We
forward.
didn't discuss it in the meeting though. I was at the
Are there
meeting.
people there to discuss it?
well, we had,
Was there?
Yeah, I would say.
There, I mean, but there was.
Yeah. well, we had more people participating. We had a robust discussion, because we did have more people. This is how we got the document in the first place.
About the questionnaire we did,
Right,
but not about
Guidelines.
these. These have kind of just been laying out there, like you and Miriam had talked about, like we talked about it, but we haven't talked about it we haven't had a discussion about this in committee. About this
Okay.
document.
So I
We
think-
be voting
Right.
It's been
general board
sent-
discussion
Right.
next week.
right.
But it's been, that's what I'm saying, it's being escalated before it's being voted on in the actual
Solomon, you had a point?
committee.
Right.
My point is that when we get the applications, we have 30 days to respond. If you don't respond within those 30 days, then we kind of lost the opportunity to get feedback. We can ask for an extension, which I think for the 10 applications that they know, we applied for the extension and got it. So after 60 days, which they were submitted, I think in early October, mid-October.
October 4th.
So that 60 days is coming up. That's my point.
Right.
So you know, we have to give some sort of.
Extension missing, if it's before.
Right, in fact, I believe we're coming up on December 18th, so I think that's probably the end point in terms of any applications being able to come in, and I don't know when the next round will be. My whole point is that there will be another round of applications coming in, because there'll be some new licenses that will be open up and become available. And all I want to do is make sure that we are all on the same page in agreement with what we want to use as a foundation to review. And so, you know, I'm not wedded. I just want to move it along, period, and come to some agreement.
Agreed.
So Victor,
Well, let me mention, I would just say that
Yeah,
in a situation where you have a task force and there's not full quorum and there's like these issues of having regular attendees,
yeah.
I would rather all of us be able to bring things to the executive committee for review and maybe voting.
Yeah.
Versus not bringing it and not escalating the issue. Like, I think the issue should be escalated. And so there needs to be some sort of procedure in place where, because even as committee members have been saying, we don't have quorum. I have not had quorum in months.
That doesn't have anything to do with discussing it in the committee.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's all that.
Does have to do with
Responding to
voting
what I
on the
said.
issue.
It is only about that these were set in place and put on paper by the co-chairs and not discussed with the committee. They were set in place and put on paper and.
Barry, I respectfully disagree with you on
This
that.
is what we're gonna do,
I
this is
do,
what we're gonna
I
do.
do disagree.
Firm committee.
And
We, as Solomon has said, and I agree, we are losing time. We can adjust this as we move forward, but we're losing time on applications and they get passed without us saying anything. I mean, some of it, like the place on, right near the school,
Bank Street.
Bank Street.
School.
Right.
That was an obvious thing. If we didn't act on it, it already went through. So I'd like to act on it and we can fix this as they're doing as we go along.
I think we need to fix the reason that I bring this
I
up.
just said what I
is-
said.
Yeah,
That's how we're
I'm not
gonna do it.
suggesting that we don't do it. I'm
Right.
suggesting that there are some things on here. Like, for instance, remember with the OCM.
Yeah.
For things being 500 feet.
Yeah.
If we're taking the OCM guidelines, 500 feet does not mean, 500 feet only means on this street. It does, again, so if this is a school, if we are a school, for instance, and that's our front door. A cannabis, it can only be, if we're talking about 500 feet from the front of this building.
Mhm.
It does not count on 133rd. It can be next door to us on 133rd.
Yes.
So I think that we gotta be clear when
The
we,
wording.
I think that we have
The
to
wording is the
clarify
problem.
some of
Yes.
it. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
fine.
Like
that's
there-
what the 500 feet means. That's clear enough.
No, it is not.
It is because.
Listen, I'm telling you what the OCM, I'm telling you what the
So-
OCM told us in
Okay,
the
So make your
meeting.
comments,
Yeah,
send them,
yeah.
send them
Continue.
to me,
Because,
and then we'll go from there.
Okay, the document is not continue to be edited, even if
Right.
yeah,
we pass something,
That's what I'm
not
saying.
yeah,
edited,
that
but
makes sense.
shouldn't the conversation
So the
continue in your committee as you learn more?
And that's fine. I mean, that's why I brought it forward, because I don't want to seem like we're doing stuff behind the scenes. We're a board.
Right.
And this is something that's very important, and we should have a conversation. That's why I keep bringing it forward, like a bad penny. So, I mean, it can continue to evolve and be a working, document.
It should.
Yeah, I'm not
Period.
suggesting that we don't move on it. I'm just saying that there are things that
I
we
want to
have
have a
to do.
conversation.
Rita, Agreed.
Yeah,
I move
Wait,
that
wait,
we,
I have a question.
approve this document and continue to work on it and build, on things that we may, suggest for engagement.
I agree. Carolyn?
Never mind, never mind. My question would have been was about the application that we have, which has passed the October 4th, okay? Are we able to hold them to move forward? That's all I'm asking.
right. So to answer your question, Carolyn, because we, are working very precariously on that deadline that Solomon mentioned, we submitted comments regarding those 10 applications already, period. So, yeah, because we discussed that in the last meeting, right? Because we had to act on it, right?
But didn't only 4 meet weren't only 4 actually?
We used the opportunity to look at all of them, actually, at that time, you know, yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
That's how we
If we
selected
didn't
the
agree
4.
with a particular applicant, we
Right.
gave that feedback.
Right.
I
the-
think
the-
Daria is addressing, some of them were the same applicant or the same location.
multiple
was-
times.
Which
yeah.
is, which is allowed.
Yeah.
It is not, and this is the part, this is why I keep talking, because there are things that if we don't understand, we're gonna act precariously. And the thing about it is, if 2 people are saying the same place, that means they do not have control of that particular space. If an applicant, let me finish the thought. If an applicant does not have control of the space, they are not even supposed to be before us. It should automatically be out. We shouldn't even, there's no, it's not even for us to deal with.
But Daria, once again, it's a lottery as well. So they had mentioned that, you know, people can submit and we still don't have any, you know, we don't control that.
Understood,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is OCM in our meeting, and it's on tape, everybody can go back and see what they said. They're only supposed to come to us after they either have control of the space or have a provisional license. If they do not have control of the space, they are supposed to go directly to OCM and go into the license lottery. If they get a provisional license, then they come back to us after they have secured the space. We don't, all these extra ones that we're getting and we're mulling over and talking all this time about are really not, they should automatically be kicked out.
And that
If
was the feedback.
But that's duplicates.
Right, that was,
Yeah.
that was
The feedback we gave.
Yeah, that was the feedback we gave.
What we were just saying is that
They're
those
duplicates.
plans,
Still meeting on December
is
20th.
that those
Yeah,
10
we'll do it
are
tomorrow.
only like 4
Okay.
of them were
That needs
actually
to be
actual
announced.
real
All this
applications.
feedback needs to be
The other
done.
six
And
were not
exactly.
even.
Got it.
And those are the
Yeah,
ones
do it on the
that-
20th.
And
I'm gonna have to go because of my bus.
We're still talking about.
That's what my motion was.
So, yeah, I mean,
You bring it up at your December 28th meeting. This way it stops all the confusion.
Work on that one.
One last question, we're gonna move forward.
I thought the one we're talking about,
Spinning our
to
wheels here.
give this form is the ones that we didn't get back.
We're still talking about 10
Yeah.
applications.
We gave feedback on.
like pending
My
right now, and it's about to pass 30
Right.
days.
I didn't, where are those for?
That's not.
This
That's
is on the
And
11th.
we're
and
jumping and
like,
making up
you're
our
the ones
own.
that we
Which
talked
was you.
about
And the rules are already made.
Of those ones?
That's concerned.
I could send it to
There's
them, but I
it's
just want
already
to
in
like
place.
let you guys know that
Was
it's
it-
past the 30 days.
So was that sent to the other, to the Gmail?
No, I sent it to you.
Okay, last, okay.
So.
I understand, I'm just saying, we're there.
So was that for extension for those four?
That's what I think, for everything.
And we
So,
should.
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna move forward, great discussion, we have work to do.
Anyway, yeah,
Let's go to our action items.
I had a motion on the floor.
Sorry,
you didn't.
What was your motion?
What was the motion?
Seconded by Shanika.
Then we vote on it.
No,
And there was no vote.
what was the most? We're gonna go back to your meeting for 28th and then.
Repeat the,
Sorry, I was having this.
I
didn't hear.
I thought when we was looking for action on moving forward and still, and as you suggested, if there's still work on the document, because it is, you know, the first time, you know, this whole cannabis thing is, you know.
so what's your exact motion? That's what I'm asking.
To move forward with the motion and have the document continue as a work in progress.
Looking for a vote?
Well,
I thought you were looking for a vote.
I mean,
well,
I thought that's what you put on the floor.
right, I mean, because once again, this, go ahead, Shannon.
Finish.
Now, so I have different understanding of it now, so here's my thought. Can we get as a board what OCM's guidelines are? So that way we don't have to continue to spin our wheels, because general board last month, we were trying to vote on these things and people were Googling the addresses, y'all recall?
Yeah,
And if what Darian said is, that's it, that you have to have a space, there's nothing for us to look up. It's
There's no
out of
reason for us to
our.
be talking about 10 spaces when only 4
I thought we were talking
qualify.
about-
The other 6, we're talking about time, we're wasting our time.
So we should. So.
Identify the ones that
Bring it to the board. Anyone doesn't have that space.
Correct.
Okay, so that would be, going forward would be nice to understand, and it. Sorry, I see you.
Go ahead.
All right,
What's the
I'm
OCM?
saying that if we can get an understanding as a board, then we don't have to continue having this conversation round and round.
When do
So
they-
once we understand what OCM's guidelines are, and ergo, the only people that we can vote on are people who already met OCM's guidelines, then we can take votes and we can move forward. And then we can have, I don't know.
okay.
They answered a lot of questions when they came to the meeting in October, November.
Yeah, but remember, and then and then we'll drop it because, as Victor said, even when they told us stuff, the issues came up at the last meeting, that things they had proposed, they weren't even following the very things that they were trying to hold us accountable for. That came up by more than one community board member, and so it's literally evolving as we speak. And I'm not saying what you heard was incorrect, but it literally, it keeps evolving and changing.
It does keep revolving and changing, but right now, what's in place is what they told us at the meeting. And she was asking where they could see, it's on the OCM website.
Right,
And also, I was trying to find out what month they came. I think it was November.
October.
Yeah, October. The October meeting
in November.
is all this information that I keep saying about the space,
Can I make a
square
Yeah.
footage. how it works, and the-
You know what?
You go back and watch. the
Excuse me.
video.
I make a motion.
Hello?
All right.
I make a
Let's-
motion to table.
Yeah, let's table it and I will address it with,
Carolyn made a motion to table it. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second. Ted, yeah, I haven't been asleep.
Thank you, Ted.
that was a fact. All right.
Tabled at this time, we will move
We'll-
forward.
yeah, we'll-
Our next
but
item.
it definitely needs to be addressed at the task force meeting.
Yeah, we'll address it.
A point of order on this, and that is we need to have a table until a specific time frame is agreed
Exactly.
upon.
Just keep in mind, and this is the
Go ahead.
last thing I'll say. The feedback that we're giving is to allow the applicant to be included in the lottery, right? That's what it is.
Exactly.
Not
Exactly.
even,
Wait,
they're still gonna be,
The item
we can just recommend or not.
Right, but if they don't meet
item has been tabled.
guidelines,
Yes.
they're gonna be
It's
thrown
been
out.
for a date, because we gotta move
They
forward.
won't be
Okay, yeah.
included.
Items have
been
tabled.
These are not the OCM.
We'll table it.
We're gonna discuss it in our task force meeting.
Okay.
And then we'll bring it back next.
Item's been tabled, we just need a date, so next
They're next
Is it
December
next meeting?
28th.
December 28th.
December 28th.
Table to then, I will attend that meeting as well.
All right.
Make a motion for unanimous consent.
No, we're gonna, I mean, somebody's coming, so we're gonna
28th.
speak to that person.
Action items. Okay. That's you.
Okay. Your
Yeah.
pink sheets,
We have a problem with it.
pink sheets, everybody.
Yes.
Amsterdam Cafe, Craft Relic, sorry, Stella, has been approved by the 30th precinct. Next one, for Amsterdam Inc., was approved by the 26th precinct. Next to Vino. Next to Vino Pino, that's the name of the place.
Okay.
Has been approved by the, no, that one I have to wait on because there was a confusion with this name called Next to Vino Pino.
Yeah, where do you
So the precinct
Yeah.
didn't get this one, so I'll have to bring it up.
So what's Twin
Those
Goat?
twin goats.
It is,
So-
that's a different one.
Twin Goat LLC
It's not on the agenda
was
because
approved by
she
the
had to get,
30th precinct.
like, she had to call them.
So you shouldn't be talking about it. if she's
Right, it's
doing
not
it.
But it's on the reso,
Yeah, but they
Well,
got
it should
reso
be
and
there.
agenda need to be the same.
Yeah,
but she just figured it out.
Okay.
Like, she
so we
just called
shouldn't
them.
even add that. Let's not even
I
talk
feel like,
about it.
see, I told her not to add it, because I hadn't heard from the officer, but it's on.
Which one? Did you-
The, next to Vino Pino, you can't vote on that.
No,
Yeah, no, because I
Okay.
didn't get a
so the
response
next
from,
one is Twin Goat LLC.
that was approved by the trio.
Okay. so
Okay.
that's going-
Okay, go.
And so the next one is.
Renewal.
Renewal.
That was approved by the 2-6.
Okay,
Can you was approved by the 30th precinct. And remember, all these that have been approved already have no issues
Okay.
in terms of noise, police issues, or anything. The reason why I say that is because I checked them on the SLAM base. What the SLAM gives me is what I let you know.
Mhm.
So next one is, what is this? Thea. They have no objections, and that's from the 2-6, okay? The one that we cannot vote on, will come up in February.
So we have 3 new liquor licenses and 3 renewals going forward
Exactly.
to the general board meeting next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I move unanimous.
All right. He's awake. Go ahead, Ted. You move for
I
this.
say
Unanimous vote. That way you don't have to go one by one.
so Ted,
The exception of the next
Oh, my
one,
God.
no veto.
correct.
Yeah, that would be,
It's
that's
on
right.
one.
Unanimous
So
consent
this is
for
exception.
all 6,
Right.
Second.
Second.
second
I
by
already
Ms. Lovely
Exception.
and Daria as well,
All right.
so passes there.
And we will also have the reso on the scooters and the BSA variance reso.
Yeah, and I just
friendly
sent, Max
amendments.
and I just sent you some updated language on that, so you can,
Okay.
yeah.
All righty,
You can
moving
have that
forward,
ready.
Madison.
any old business?
We don't have to do anything more with that reso then.
No, just the friendly amendments.
No old business, any new business?
I just sent her amendments. Yeah.
All right.
I have an wait, I have an announcement before we adjourn. At the next meeting of the board, the general board meeting on December 21st,
Yes.
we will have refreshments.
Next week.
It will be hot food.
Oh.
Various restaurants within the district has agreed to provide refreshments for us.
Nice.
Dinosaur Barbecue.
Oh, wow.
What's the restaurant on 137?
Oh, that's good. I know. Yeah, that's good.
Ina Del Sasson.
I don't know that name, but okay.
They agreed, and I want to thank Daria for doing the link. And I spoke with them, I had a meeting with them,
Nice.
so they will be providing refreshments. And West Side Market will be providing sandwiches as well.
Nice.
So please, make sure that you're in person
Ladies,
Thank you.
at the December 21st general board meeting.
I plan to be there.
Next week.
Did you talk about the totals for?
If I'm at work in advance, I will.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
motion to adjourn, since I see people putting their coats on.
Okay.
So moved, Ted.
Here.
I was just getting ready
So
to
what,
pick
they've
the-
been telling people that